Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Hope that everyone is having a great Monday night. Welcome to FragTalk Live. We've got a very special program today. I'm so excited about. We're going to have some wonderful friends up here in just a second as we get to launch this wonderful new line that I'm so excited about. So, let me get a couple of our friends up here in the chat, starting with Mr. Andre, who we are very excited to have. It is so good to see everybody. It is going to be a fun night tonight. We are going to get to talk about the new Terra Mystica collection, the new line that's going to be launching by Aurum et Obscura. And before we do that, you guys did an amazing job with this video that I think just really sets the stage. And I would love to show this if you're okay with it, Andre, to kind of kick things off because I really think it sets the stage really well for what we're going to talk about tonight.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'll do that. And while I'm doing that, if you guys could share out the live, if you could like the live, keep tapping it. That'll be very helpful as we try to continue to get more and more people in here. If you've got friends that you would like to invite that need to hear about this collection, we'd love for you to do that as well. And we're going to talk a little bit more here in just a bit about the collection. We're going to talk about the discount code that you guys need to know about and where you can pick it up as well. So before we do that, let's watch this video that'll kind of give you a little primer on where we're heading so far here during the show. Enjoy. It's a good one.
And I think of scent the way I think of music or poetry, not as a decoration, but as a language that doesn't explain itself with words, but but speaks directly to the subconscious.
Every fragrance begins as a whisper, a fleeting emotion, a memory too beautiful to hold, a shadow longing to be given form. What began as an experiment in feeling became something far greater. Aurum et Obscura was never created to follow trends. It was created to translate the invisible, desire, grief, nostalgia, obsession, light and darkness, bound together in scent. From the first echoes of creation to the fragrances that found their way into the hearts of collectors around the country, each bottle became a fragment of a story, a quiet companion, a reflection of the soul wearing it. Black Velvet, Nebula Moderata, Moroccan Nights, Melancholia, Mountain Spring, Desert Rose, a winter storm, iced plum and snow. And through every release, every late night, blending accords in silence, every risk taken in pursuit of beauty. You were there, the collectors, the artists, the believers, and the voices who helped carry Aurum et Obscura into the world. Reviewers who spoke honestly, passionately, beautifully, not because they were asked to, but because they understood. To every creator who shared our work with their audience, thank you. And now, a new chapter emerges, Terra Mystica Aurum, a new line forged from everything Aurum et Obscura has become. More intimate, more daring, more transcendent. A collection born from earth and ether, memory and myth, flesh and divinity. This is not simply perfume. This is atmosphere.
Aurum et Obscura is my way of saying fragrance should reflect the full spectrum of experience. It should glow, but it should also whisper, and it should seduce, but also make you unsettled, just enough to make you feel alive.
Wow, that was beautiful. That was a great job. First off, you got to tell me who did this video for you, Mr. Andre, because that was a beautiful, beautiful piece.
Thank you, Joe. That'll be Mark.
Mark. Well, Mark is a great member of the team, and it was a beautiful way to put it together. Thank you so much for talking about the creator community too. I thought that was very, very well done, and I thought that was a really nice nod to the kind of what you've been building here. So before we launch into some questions, Andre, let's have our panel introduce themselves because we have some people that people may be familiar with and maybe they're not. So let's go around and have you guys introduce yourselves. Let's start with Usman. Usman, would you introduce yourself and kind of how you're connected to the brand?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thank you for having me. Really excited about this launch and to join you. So a little bit about myself. I am actually local to Columbus, Ohio, which is where I kind of met Andrei and kind of learned about Aurum at Obscura. And, believe it or not, I haven't known Andrei for too long, but it kind of feels like I've known him for a very long time. Just kind of person he is, kind of learning about his background and kind of the whole story behind the brand and the house has just been incredible. I mean, the first time I met the guy, I literally got to smell everything that he's ever made. And, I am really happy to be, part of this and this whole journey. And again, thank you for having me.
Very happy to have you. Thank you so much, Usman. Max, why don't we go with you next, my good friend?
Hey everybody, I am Max. I am the current PR and social media director for Aurum at Obscura. You'll notice a theme here when I say this, but I'm also from Ohio. That's how I know Andrei and have gotten to work with this brand a lot. I'm super excited. This is a super awesome launch we've got. And yeah, pretty much that.
We've met our Ohio quota and then some. Just wait, we're not done yet. We've met our Ohio quota for the week. Let's next go to Tyler. Tyler, please introduce yourself, my good friend.
All right. Hey, everybody. I am Tyler O'Warren, OD. If it's passed around onto your page, it's how you've gotten through to go to know me. But I serve with Aurum Obscura as our co-perfumer and creative director. I am not from Ohio, so I'm going to just break the cycle a little bit. I'm over out here into Utah, so repping out on the west side of the country. But was going through and have been honored to have Andrei as my mentor and going through here as a perfumer. And that's from the moment I went through and had the collection of the Drop of the Octave of Vice, I was hooked into the house. And it's been just awesome education ever since, and an honor to be.
Oh, that's awesome. It's so nice to meet you and glad. So while the rest of us are falling asleep here in a little bit, you're going to be just wide awake because you got a few hours on us. So you're going to carry the show here a little bit later. All right. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Toby Sense himself. How are you doing, Mr. Toby? Get you unmuted.
All right. I'm not echoing, am I?
You are not.
All right. So I'm Toby Sense, and I am the last leg of Ohio. I am in the Columbus area. It's how I've become known Andrei. My local store, Monsantor, carries his line, and I was in there one day when Andrei was in there. We got talking, of course, the passion and love for fragrances, learned that he was a perfumer. Very nice, genuine guy. We hit it off and started talking fragrances. And, he's helped educate me into this fragrance journey as well, explaining note breakdowns and how some of these notes work together. So I'm very thankful that he's local to me. I consider him a friend. So it's nice to have someone here, but yeah, I'm just another fragrance head, but I'm thankful to have him around and a good store to support us as well.
Yeah, without a doubt, and he's been so great to talk to, and somebody that I've enjoyed learning from as well. So this line, the collection is right here of my samples. At least I've got those to show you, and obviously we're going to talk more about the line tonight, and we're going to go through each fragrance as a part of the process. But very excited. I've smelled through all of these, so I can tell you for sure when I recommend my favorites out of here, that I have spent some time with them. I've had them on skin, I've had them on paper, I've made extensive notes. I know a lot of us have, so we're really excited to talk through these. If somebody could help me out in the chat, if you could put, because all the rules with TikTok, if you could put the website that we would want to Spanky, we're not bringing anybody else up. So WT, I'd love to see you, brother, but I'm going to drop you down. We've got kind of a limited group here tonight. So, but love you, brother. Thanks for being here and hang out in the chat for us. Spanky's moderating, helping out a little bit tonight, but we're just going to keep it. I'm going to bring up people kind of as we do this launch, so we won't fill those other two boxes tonight. As we kind of move through things, we'll bring up people as we need to. Sorry about that, Spanky. I didn't tell you that, but I appreciate you. So the rest of the line that we're going to go through tonight, we're going to go through each one, and I'm really excited about that. But let me start out with you first, Andrei, as the guy, the man behind the brand, and just kind of ask you a question about Terra Mystica. And to me, it kind of feels like a shift a little bit in what people might expect from the brand name that you've had. But I don't know if that's really even true. And so I kind of want to get your take on that. What made you decide that this was the right time to explore this direction? And tell us a little bit about, how you came up with the Terra Mystica collection.
Yeah, of course. I think it feels like a departure only because it is the first time I allowed a deeper world behind Aurum Obscura to fully emerge without compromise. Before Terra Mystica, in my previous collections, many of the fragrances existed almost like fragments, isolated emotional landscapes, studies in atmosphere, memory, light, and shadow, and place. But this collection became something much larger than individual perfumes. It became cosmology to me, almost a mythology, an interconnected emotional ecosystem, I would say. At a certain point, I realized I was no longer interested in creative fragrances simply as luxury objects or aesthetic accessories. I became obsessed with the idea of creating places people could psychologically enter. And not perfumes you merely wear, but environments that after alter your emotional temperature and fragrances that behave almost like a memory itself. Um, I think now was the right time because artistically I stopped fearing intimacy, I guess. And earlier in my early collections, there was still hesitation, there was still awareness of expectation, I don't know, accessibility, reception, even self consciousness about how deeply personal something should become. Now, Tarmiska is what happened when I stopped asking whether something was commercially safe and started rather asking, uh, is it emotionally true? This collection, to me, represents a return to origins, geographically, emotionally, spiritually, um, things that shaped my emotional language long before perfumery even entered my life. So, in many ways, Terra Mystica is not Ormid Obscura reinventing itself. It's Ormid Obscura finally speaking in its native tongue.
That's beautiful. I mean, it really is. I appreciate it. I kind of showed that SITE a little bit. Make sure that you guys, if you're interested in the collection tonight, as we go through and answer questions and as we get into the fragrances, if you are interested in picking up a sample or a bottle, we're talking a little bit more tonight about samples here in a little bit and got some very exciting news about that relationship and where we're heading there. But want to make sure that you guys know, and we'll keep putting it in the chat as well for those moderators. Anybody else can help us do that. But Gold 25 will be your code for the month of for this month. That will be able to give you a 25% discount on the fragrances. So make sure that if you are going to go sample or going to try out bottles, that is the place to do it. Did I get that right, Max? Give me a thumbs up if I'm right. All right, so right on there. So you guys definitely be talking about that, and then we're going to be talking about samples here in just a second. So Andrei, you described this kind of as an olfactory map to a scent realm, which when I read that, I had to put my head around that a little bit. So I'm kind of curious from an imagery standpoint, what is the feeling that came to your mind when this collection started forming? Like because you all, I mean, I love about what I love about your website. I was showing it and was talking through it. Like you have a deep story behind each of your fragrances. So what was coming to your mind when you were thinking about that olfactory map in that scent realm?
Yeah, I don't think it's fantasy in the literal sense of the word. More like the hidden emotional layer beneath reality. That invisible geography we all carry internally. The first thing I felt when this collection began forming was not even an image. Actually, it was atmosphere, silence. The kind of silence you encounter in places untouched by modern urgency and the kind of silence you encounter in places that have moss climbing over forgotten stones and wind moving through forests older than language itself, damp mineral air before the storm, herbs crushed between your fingertips. So I keep returning to the idea that there are places we never truly leave behind, places that stop existing geographically, pardon me, and begin existing emotionally. So that became Terra Mystica, an internal world built from memory, longing, solitude, sometimes weather, ritual, emotional residue. Really, each fragrance became a different region within that realm.
So, it's very kind of interesting too because some of these fragrances I would definitely classify me personally as smelling them as type of green type fragrances, right? And so I'm just kind of curious because sometimes green fragrances can feel safe or familiar, but I think that you also stretched us a little bit with this line, and I'm kind of curious as to what you felt like you wanted Terra Mystica to do differently compared to the other creations that you've had throughout the years.
Um, I so as I said, each fragrance became different, a different region within that realm. I wanted this collection to feel like abandoned forests where light barely reaches the ground. Um, Others might feel like mirages dissolving into desert air, urban feel, nocturnal, stone streets after midnight, still holding that warmth of human life that just passed through. Um, and others to feel like the coastline before a storm arrives. So the collection became less about perfume, more about cartography of the invisible.
So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to our panel here a little bit because before we go through and dive into each fragrance, I kind of want to hear what each individual maybe thinks about the line or how you would describe this line overall. You've all spent some time with it. You've all smelled them. I'm just kind of curious for your thoughts. Anybody can chime in as you want. I won't call on you, but whoever feels passionate, go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you feel with this collection. And tell us a little bit more about what someone who's considering purchasing one of these tonight, maybe what they need to be thinking about as we go through these scents.
I definitely first off, I want to say Andrei did a fantastic job with this lineup. I truly love every scent here for a different reason. I think when people are thinking about purchasing a fragrance from this line, think about kind of where it will take you and kind of like this. Each fragrance that is made in this collection does really tell a story. And I think something to definitely consider is what story do you want to tell when you're wearing it? For me, my personal favorite, I'll give it a quick shout out right from the get go, is A Distant Storm, which is from the Ethereum collection, our only other bottle from that, and it is truly fantastic. It's this beautiful cucumber and melon, and there's this eucalyptus and blue spruce, and it just really, really is unlike anything, and it really takes me to this to A Distant Storm, like looking out. To me, it takes me to being on Lake Erie and watching out over the waves because my grandparents used to live like right on the water, and you would just look out over the waves into Canada, and there's the storm, and it really does take you to that place. So when you're looking at all this and looking at our site, take a second and kind of think, what do I want to picture?
It's beautiful. So Canada's the storm. Is that what you're saying?
Canada is not the storm, but it is. It is. You could look into Canada where I'm from. So
yeah, that would completely understand it. And we're going to get through and talk a little bit more. I showed it a little bit, but it is
They can see Russia from their house. So.
I heard what you were saying. And The Distant Storm is such a good fragrance, and it's one of my favorites too, Max. So that we'll talk a little bit more about that when we go through it. But yeah, definitely a great one. Anybody else want to talk about it? Toby or Usman or Tyler?
Yeah, I'm going to take a chance to jump in there and piggyback off of what you went through and mentioned in there of talking about that each of these have an aspect of green to them. As I went through and was going through and smelling this collection, it really just brought back to that, reminding us of connecting back to nature, connecting us back into the thing that really drives and is the invisible string amongst all of us here as people. And especially here in the fragrance community, right? And farther reaching out from there, because that's the whole point of it. It's not just for the people who are obsessed with fragrances. It is for everybody. And as you go through and shop into this collection and find more within the house, even just outside of this collection, it's less about what you want to wear and be smelling like. It's who you want to become, because that is what these go through to be. It is the accessory to becoming the person and the persona that you truly wish to go through and harness in with the energies of it. It's something that is magical and is captured by very few houses. And I definitely is not one that I go through to put out lightly in terms of going through there and not even trying to be all, coming from the inside, of course, I'm going to say it's great. Coming originally from outside of there and having experiences of a lot of different of the indie and artisanal community, there's something special that Andrei is able to go through and capture here with the collection and with Aurum Obscura as a whole.
No, it's beautifully well said. Well, you've done this before, Tyler. Good job. Who wants to follow that?
Yeah, no, I also love The Distant Storm, but since everyone's kind of on that one, I'm gonna have to talk about the Tea in the Sahara. I mean, that one absolutely shook me. I mean, if you think about the name, Tea in the Sahara, I mean, think about where the Sahara Desert is, you think about mirages, and this is really what this fragrance does. And this is why I love this one. Because to someone just looking at this, you're like, okay, just a tea fragrance, your cookie cutter, this tea straight up, but this kind of goes and comes and goes in your face. Like, you get tea, and then you get like this spicy feel to it, and then the tea just disappears, and then it kind of comes back a little bit, and then you're left with like a soft musk and woods. It is absolutely a masterful fragrance, and it is not your kind of typical tea fragrance. And that's kind of the theme with this house. I've smelled everything that Andrei has put out, and the thing that stands out to me the most about this, and anyone who's been considering this house, none of it is linear. Everything changes. It's dynamic. It is absolutely masterful. And I'm not just saying this, like, you have to get your nose on this whole collection. I mean, it's just crazy how it changes. Like, I'm so used to growing up just smelling stuff that stays linear throughout, but kind of like the ebbs and flows of these fragrances over time is absolutely insane. You don't see that with every fragrance nowadays at all.
No, I think that's a beautiful way to say it. And it's funny too, because that's the fragrance that really grew on me. The one that you're talking about, the one that as I wore it on skin, when I first smelled it on paper, I was a little bit like, yeah, I like it. When I wore it on skin, it completely changed. I mean, it became one of the top, probably one of my top three out of the line so it's so funny that we've got so much commonality, and we did not plan this. Like, this is just kind of through us kind of learning our favorites, but we'll talk through it. So Uzman, I think you're exactly right. So Toby, tell us, you were the guy that introduced me to Andrei. So without you, we wouldn't even be here today. So going back just to that, thank you so much for introducing us and having that conversation. And but what do you think about this line? Because you were, I think, one of the first noses maybe on this.
So yeah, meeting Andrei and just talking about it in how he creates fragrances, whether it's from memories or experiences he's had. And one that I fell in love with, I'm going to talk about a winter storm, but I'm going to talk about the ice plum and snow. And when I smelled this, when it came out during wintertime, I just fell in love with this. I mean, the plum note in there, that spice plum is so nice. And as they mentioned, these aren't linear. So as it transitions, it takes you on that winter storm journey from it ramping up and getting cold, and how he makes an ice accord in here that you smell and pick up, and it's just reminiscent of a winter storm as it develops. And then you get the woods and the cedar in here and juniper berries. His fragrances are so enjoyable, so well blended. And I love how they develop throughout the wearing, because they're not linear and they're just so well done. And you could tell, like, he takes serious pride when he puts these together. Everything's very well thought out. The notes just are blended. They just work together nicely. And it's just nice. It's nice not to have just a linear fragrance, something that actually takes you on that journey, that memory that you may have, and they're just enjoyable. I've got a few of them, and yeah, I'm thankful he's local for me. I've been fortunate enough to put my nose on a lot of these, and I'm very happy and excited for him. I'm excited for this new launch. I'm excited to see where he's going.
Yeah, well said. I mean, you could not have said that better. And I'm putting him in the big box now because I'm asking this question. So Andrei, because we all said good things about you, I just wanted to embarrass you a little bit more because I know how much you hate that. But no, seriously, I did have a question for you. So we've talked about a few of these, and I know that fragrance is very personal for you. So what is the one in this collection that's the most personal to you before we start walking through each of them?
Obviously, the name is gonna say it all. It is Goodnight Bucharest. That is the fragrance in the whole collection that is the most personal to me.
All right. And are you willing to tell us a little bit why, or do you want to hold that until we go through it?
Yeah, of course. So Goodnight Bucharest. I thought I was creating nocturnal urban fragrance. Instead, I ended up confronting my own memories themselves. That fragrance came from one final night walking through Bucharest the day before leaving for the United States. That was August 2nd, 2002. And I remember realizing that the city I spent my best moments inside was about to become a memory. There were moments during the development where certain accords recreated atmosphere with almost painful accuracy. Warm stone after sun, the cold green air before dawn. I don't know, distant florals moving through empty streets. Even traces of smoke softened by emotional distance. So at some point, the fragrance stopped feeling composed and started feeling remembered. And I think everyone carries one city inside them forever. And for me, that city is Bucharest.
No, it's beautiful. Thank you so much for really kind of going through that one. I'm always just curious asking you about which one is really your favorite, not your favorite, but which one really is most personal, because I think that's something that yeah, it's so important. I think when you talk about perfumers and what they do, and it's funny, Venta Snob's in here, and he said that's the main one that he's really looking forward to purchasing. It's just really interesting when you get to learn that the why that's behind that and the personal meaning, and how does that translate into a meaning for other people as well. So beautiful. That's a beautiful way to do it. So let's talk about these fragrances a little bit. I don't know if you have a certain order you'd like to go through and how we would like to go through these, including everybody. But first off, before we even do that, if someone is interested in sampling, which we're going to talk about, well, actually, let's hold that off for. Let's go through each fragrance, and we'll talk a little bit more about where they can sample and where they can buy in the next segment. So let's first go through and talk about the fragrances. Do you want to go in a certain order there, or just go through the website? What do you want to do there, Andre?
No, it doesn't matter. We can start with the one that actually started the whole collection, and that is the Green Alchemist.
Well, let's do it.
The Green Alchemist was the beginning of everything. And it started with a memory that I couldn't quite shake. And I think you and I talked about this in our previous interview. Growing up in Romania, my grandmother had that garden that seemed enormous to me as a child. So looking back, it probably wasn't very large, but memory enlarges certain places. And in that garden, there were herbs everywhere: basil, thyme, mint, vegetables, flowers. It wasn't just a garden to me; it was a living ecosystem. And I remember watching those herbs become remedies and teas and ingredients. And looking back, I realized that that was probably my first encounter with what I now think of as alchemy. And when I began composing the fragrance, my first instinct was realism. I wanted to recreate the garden exactly. No, that failed. It smelled like a garden center. And Tyler and I talked about this a little earlier because he has one of the early versions of this fragrance. And the breakthrough came when I stopped trying to recreate the physical garden and started trying to recreate the feeling of being a child standing inside it. Suddenly the fragrance changed and the citrus became sunlight. Those herbs became memory. Iris became a wonder of a child. And then the mosses and the earth became time itself. So the technical challenge was making green feel sophisticated without losing its vitality. Many green fragrances that we know become either too sharp or too clean. So I wanted something alive, not green as a color, but as a state of being.
It's funny because this one, the Green Alchemist, is actually a couple of people that are on here's favorites. So I know Frugal loves this one. Frugal Fragrance Father. If you guys follow him, he loves the Green Alchemist. And I'm trying to think, there was somebody else that hadn't told me that this was their favorite as well. And I can't remember who it was.
I
But
really love that one.
Yeah, so I mean that there is and it is a very beautiful fragrance, and it's that lime and that mandarin and that bergamot that's in the top, and then kind of how it kind of moves in a little bit further down into that the herbs and the iris and then the vetiver and the patchouli and the base and the oak moss, because you can definitely get the oak moss and the kind of that amber base in it, but it's definitely a beautiful one. I am going, since that was your sin of the day, Mr. Tyler. I'm going to let you talk about this one a little bit. So, number one, why do you? I mean, you chose it as your sin of the day on this very special, important day. So you have to tell us why you did that.
I mean, I kind of came in a little bit repping into it when I was picking out the outfit choice. So, I mean, it was a little bit biased into my fashion forward for barely myself, since I work from home. So it's just for my enjoyment.
Oh, sorry.
But I think what was just kind of the go through of going through and having the first trial of Green Alchemist and getting my nose onto that and talking and discussing it with Andrei, to then coming into this one, the moment that I had went through and fully smelled it and got a chance to go through and not be busy, I messaged him and said, "Did you change this? Did you tweak something? Because there's no way these are the same two things." And I think what's the most formative part about it is coming into the alchemist side of it. Alchemy was the blending of 4 elements, with then the final element being spirit. And so that is what was missing through to it, and carrying into that memory with it. You can feel that with this. It feels personable. It feels like it's you. You've gone through and are a part of the story that the Green Alchemist is trying to go through to tell. And a lot of the other fragrances do that in the same way. The Green Alchemist is something that I've tried to be all corny with it. I kind of am throwing some words and say neo Fougère. It's got a lot of those elements of an old school Fougère. It's got your oak moss. It's got your green notes. It's got your florals. But what's the twist and different to it is that opening sharpness, which is not traditionally with any sort of Fougère. It's something just to kind of break away. You turn your head and get caught in the magic of it. So I think that it's, we're starting a trend. We're starting a new forward into that territory. And I think that's why out of the entire collection, that is the one that I gravitate the most towards.
Show that again there, Andre. We wanted to get you the big box. Yeah, it's a beautiful bottle presentation, and it's funny that you say that neo Fougère style. That is an interesting take on this, because you're exactly right. Now that I smell it, and with that context in mind, it's a more modern take of a Fougère, really, because it does something a little bit different. But as we are going to talk about it here in a little bit, I do like Fougères, and we've got another one in here that's really, really good. So we'll talk about that. Anybody else? Toby, I think you unmuted there. Did you want to say anything about this one, about the Green Alchemist?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good.
He's like, nope, it's a good one. Just get it. So make sure if you're checking, this one sounds like what you want to pick up. Make sure that you check out the site. We'll have some people throw that in the chat for us, so you know where to find this at. You can see it up here, but definitely check out the site, and remember that code, that discount code GOLD25. Make sure you use that tonight to get 25% off of these. So Andre, where do we head next, brother? Which fragrance do we want to go through now?
We're heading to Vidus Purpurea, or the Purple Widow.
That's another beautiful presentation. I love. By the way, I love what you did with the bottles there with the 30 mil. That looks good.
Thank you. Now this one began with violets. Every spring back in the old country, entire landscapes would suddenly become covered with purple and white violets. And years later, after moving to Ohio, I experienced the same phenomenon again. Different continent, same emotional response. Now, as a child, I used to pick those violets from my Aunt Cecilia every Sunday during spring. And there's something strangely fragile about that memory. There's nothing dramatic that happened. No great revelation, really, just a child picking flowers for someone he loved. But, memory works in peculiar ways. So those small moments often became the most permanent. Now, the problem is that violet itself is almost impossible. The flower people imagine doesn't really exist in perfumery. Violet is really illusion. So it exists through ionones, through leaf materials, powdery accords, metallic facets, and real airy sweetness. So building a Vidus purpurea became really an exercise in emotional reconstruction. Because how do you create the smell of something that exists more vividly in memory than in reality? So I ended up treating violet less as a flower and more as a phenomenon, less botanical, more atmospheric. The fragrance became about the emotional color purple itself.
You know, it's so funny about this one too, and I'd be curious. We had Victoria in here earlier, and she talked about how the Green Alchemist was her favorite. This one to me seems well. I think this one may have been one of the favorites, maybe for Elizabeth, who's also in here that had smelled this collection. She lives close to me, and she felt like, I believe from her notes that I remember, this one she felt was the most feminine of the bunch, or at least the one that's most unisex. I wouldn't say most feminine makes it. You know, it's most unisex of the fragrances, I believe. And and I think it's that it is that that violet that's in there, but it is I'm smelling it right now. It's a beautiful scent.
Thank you.
Yeah. Would you agree with that statement, or how would you in the line? How would you how?
Is definitely the most feminine of all of them, and that's for a reason. It is made with a woman in mind, and a very special woman at that. So
Ah, makes sense. Well, there you go. There's the rest of the story, as I say. Uzman or Max or anybody else have anything they want to add about this one? The scent.
Yeah, just really quickly. Now I've been trying to pace myself with this collection, and I actually did smell this one for the first time today, and I was shocked by like how ethereal, smooth, powdery it smelled. And I definitely agree with you guys, so I'm not going crazy. It definitely leaned the most, I guess, like feminine to me, but this is very much unisex in my opinion. And I haven't smelled many violet fragrances to be honest with you, but this is a really nice one for those of you that are looking for something that kind of leans right in the middle.
Yeah, it's really awesome, and what I love too is that kind of the black amber note that you have in there. Can you explain that a little bit, Andre, before we move on? Because black amber, I don't know if I've seen that note before. What makes it a black amber? And talk a little bit about that.
it's actually an amber cord based on a lot of resins. It has a lot of labdanum. It has a lot of benzoin and a lot of total balsam. So a lot of sweetness in it. And it's called black amber because it's much darker than the amber color that we know. And um, that black amber gives it that sweetness that makes it a sugary violet, and then you have the leathery and spice saffron in there. That's where uh, you get that little twinge, I guess.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. Well, if we're keeping on kind of where we are on the website, do you want to do Tea of Sahara next, or which one do you have, or whatever you have next to you?
I actually pulled the fragrance that nearly broke me.
Okay, let's talk about that
And
one.
that is Aurum Pallida, pale gold.
Beautiful bottle. So once again,
This fragrance feels very different, and as I said, it nearly broke me. Because most perfumers talk about complexity in terms of adding things, more materials, more accords, more richness. Aurum Pallida taught me that sometimes complexity comes from removal. So I became obsessed with a strange question. What would pale gold smell like? Not visually, but emotionally. Not wealth, not luxury, but light. The first versions were dense and beautiful, but they were luminous. So they sat on the skin. I wanted something that hovered and shimmered. And the solution required learning restraint, actually. Massive hedione, large amounts of ionones, or space. At some point, I realized I wasn't building a perfume anymore. I was building absence, actually, a fragrance that exists partially to what isn't there. So that was one of the most difficult lessons I've actually learned as a perfumer.
yeah. I mean this one is. I mean this one challenged me a little bit, and I don't know. I don't 100% know. And I think it's again, it's one of the beautiful things about your fragrances. is that I think you have to spend time with them. Like you can't just go in, like they're going to continue to change and they're going to continue to evolve over time, and you just can't just sit there and say, okay, yes, no. It's not one that you run into a department store, you just spray and you get that beautiful blast that lasts literally 30 seconds, and you're like, oh, I want to buy it, and then after the 30 seconds, you realize that it smells horrible, but they just got you with the 30-second, and initial initial spray. These really hang with you. And I think I don't know what it is. I'm wondering what's challenging me the most with this. I don't because I look at the note breakdown, and all of those notes are things that I would say that I like. So I don't know 100% what it is. It maybe even be the iris that's just
Yeah, well, I can tell you exactly what it is. It's when you see iris, and I think it's just something our mind does. You think powdery, and by using Iralia in conjunction with iris flower extract, I didn't want any of that powderiness in there that the orris root would give you. So you smell the iris flower actually and the stem, not the powdery leftover, that gives you that nostalgic, almost um old bookstore maybe
yeah.
feel.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. That's funny that you say that. I kinda get that a little bit, now, or at least a little bit about around that. Yeah, interesting. Anybody else wanna talk about this one? Anybody have any notes that they wanna add on this one?
It's really cool to have something that as you smell it, you see something in the distance,
Hmm.
which is like the weirdest way to go through to describe it. Cause that's why, like, I went through, smelled the line, and then I kept coming back to it while I was smelling the other line because there was something more that I couldn't go through and grasp. And it just still is just kind of there. It's this far off shine in the distance, and you kind of go through and chase it. And I think that's really what goes through to me and sells Aurum with this one. It's really just words have a hard time to describe it, much like the scent is.
Yeah, and very, very. I think that's a very fair statement. And while I have you guys on the website here, I wanted to show people. So pricing in this line is anywhere. So 30 mils, $87 normally. 50 mils, $150 again. We have the discount code that's there again. Gold 25 is that code. They'll save you 25% this month. So make sure you use that when you are trying to check these fragrances out. But the other thing I love that you do here is you show the stock level too, Andre. I think that's a really nice touch. That's something a lot of niche houses don't do, and you're never quite sure kind of what's left, kind of how long it'll take to get that back in stock. So thanks for doing that. I think that's a really nice touch.
Absolutely. And Joe, the prices go between actually 80 to 87 for the 30 mils and 135 to 150 for the 50 mils. Obviously, depending on the materials used.
Oh, that
and,
makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. Yeah, you're right. Because again, yeah, different ingredients. Actually, I see that on the list here. So you're right. Yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll try to mention that as we go through each fragrance, kind of where they line up price wise, just so people have an idea. But that's really good.
I do want to say, just funny note, but I think it's important when we're talking about how you go through this line. When I was first testing this and I was at my house doing this and not with Andre, the way I actually did this and tested the how it progressed on paper was I literally sprayed it, and at about like 8 p.m. sniffed it until like 12, fell asleep, and then the next morning I sniffed it again, and it was a completely different scent than what I had remembered. So just something kind of funny, but also like the reality of I literally slept them all next to me, and the next morning they were completely changed. It was a really cool thing.
Yeah, it really is. And it's funny you say that because I did the same thing. So I did 2 days of paper test. doing exactly kind of what you said. And I did them in intervals. I did one like right away. I did one like an hour later. I did one, I think 4 hours later. And then I did the next day, I think is how I did them on paper. And then I went to skin. And then I realized how stupid it was that I wasted 2 days on paper because on skin, I mean, that's where fragrances obviously are meant to be worn, obviously. And, and I was sitting there thinking, man, these things, I mean, my notes from the first 2 days completely changed when I had them on skin. So I would just encourage everybody, you know, and we're going to be talking about as we get through this line here soon. We're going to be talking more about how you can sample these if you'd like to do so. Don't even waste time on paper. Go right to skin with them and really see how they work with your chemistry and how they evolve, because they have definitely evolved. And I guess I would say if you find a challenging note on paper, you're likely is not going to be a challenge when it's on your skin. It really it's just a different type of chemistry in the way that it mellows out and the way that it works with your chemistry and the way that it, you know, those kinds of things work out. So anyway, that's just a quick lesson that I learned going through this. Andrei, feel free to correct me, but I feel like you would probably endorse that.
Right. And I think I was talking to Blake last night in one of his lives, and he asked me about that ever changing, you know, because he has several of our fragrances, and I told him I want my fragrances to feel just like the plant that they represent. I want them to represent the life of that material. I want them to feel green and then fully bloomed and then dying and crushing and crumbling. So it's an ever evolving situation, and unfortunately for me, it's very hard to handle because naturals are very prima donna like. So they behave badly.
Just the way you like your fragrances to behave, right? That's so for those of you that are just joining us, one, thank you for being here. Please help us by continuing to like the live and share the live out so that more people can see this. But we're launching the Terra Mystica collection of Aurum Obscura, and we've got Andrei here, who is the perfumer of this line and the brand owner, and we have some of the people that have helped him and worked with him, giving us their takes on this line. So definitely check out the website. Again, if you want 25% off this month, use the code GOLD25 when you check out. And so we're going through the line. We've gone through, I believe, 3 of them, maybe 4 of them. Let's go to the next one now, Andrei. What's next in front of you?
We can go to Team the Sahara because Team the Sahara began as a paradox. I became obsessed with the idea of freshness existing inside extreme heat. So most people think of tea as comforting. Most people think of freshness as cool. But what happens when you place those two ideas inside an endless desert? What fascinated me wasn't the desert itself, it was the mirage, rather. That strange phenomenon where reality becomes uncertain, right? So the fragrance went through countless versions because every time it became too literal and it failed. Too much tea became a tea fragrance, too much desert, and it became a woody oriental fragrance. So, and then too much freshness, it turned aquatic. Now, I wanted the final version to exist somewhere between all 3 of those. And the goal was not realism. The goal was illusion, a scent that appears and disappears the way heat shimmers and moves across the horizon in the desert. It's probably the most abstract fragrance in the collection, and probably one of the most abstract that I've made. And actually, it's going to be the one that reveals itself the slowest in the entire collection.
This one really grew on me on skin. I really love this one. I love that mint that you get, but it kind of dies down beautiful bottles again. I love the labeling too. It tells a story too, and I know that you're really intentional about the art and the labeling and what you use. Like I love that too. That you're not just going to ChatGPT and throwing it in and just coming out with a label. Like and again, not trying to. I'm not throwing shade at anybody. What'd you say?
That would be so easy.
Yeah, it would be so easy. Yes, it would. It definitely would be. But no, you really take time, and I think that's a part of your brand, and I think that's a part of the whole niche story too. Like literally, if you own a bottle of this collection, like I cannot stress to you all how much intentionality goes into every piece of it. Like it is not like this is not something that is just kind of concocted like, hey, we want a dupe of this or we want something like this is very much a luxury product that has been really worked on for a long time and has been, I mean, this stuff. Yeah, and this is, I mean, again, I'm not, and I'm saying that I will go ahead. I don't think I've clarified to anybody, but hey, I mean, I'm here because I want to introduce you to this brand tonight. I'm not getting paid. I'm here because I love the brand. I'm here because I love everything that's about this, and I love what Andre's trying to do, and I love that he challenges me. And I like that. I like that in fragrance because any of you that have been a collector for a long time, you know that you start smelling very similar things. You start getting the profiles, and you start knowing when you go into the department stores that things are going to. Oh, that reminds me of this, or that's built just like this with a little twist. These are very intentionally constructed, is what I'll say to stretch you in your fragrance. And so, definitely don't shy away from that and that piece of it. But I love this one too. The carrot seeds note was one that really caught me. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I don't see that in a lot of fragrances often.
And again, I was having this conversation with Tyler just a couple of hours ago. I couldn't. I needed the desert dryness, and I didn't want it to. I didn't want to use just another, woody like combination to do that, because I could throw in some no-limbanol and some cedar wood and just get it over with. But that doesn't make it desert dry. I wanted the Saharan desert to pop up. And the only way I could get that was going back to what I did with Desert Rose in my previous collection and introduce the carrot seed. And ironically, both these fragrances, Desert Rose and Team the Sahara, are inspired by songs by Sting.
Are you serious? Oh, that is funny.
The songs are exactly called that, Desert Rose and Team the Sahara.
Oh, that is awesome. That's pretty good. So, so Tyler, since you were talking about this earlier, anything you want to add? Is because obviously you guys were thinking on the same lines here about this fragrance.
Yeah, it is something that is abstract is like the best word for it, because it's one of those things that you will smell it one day, you'll go back to it tomorrow, and it will smell an entirely different way from that first spray, which is entirely crazy. It smells different on paper compared to your skin, but when you smell it in its initial like sillage and trail with it, it feels like it shimmers in front of you, which was something that was very hard to go through and to put together and to get that in your olfactory senses to try to go through it there. And it really comes down to that being nitpicky and being intentional with the things that are going through to be used and sticking true to the idea and the image that we want to evoke, and less about, will this fly off the shelves?
Yeah. No, well said. I think the payoff is there in the end on it. I think it's probably my top three. I think that's my top three. Keep flipping, but it's definitely in the top three for me. And I'll talk about the other ones as well. So for those of you counting at home, we are 4 down, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go in the fragrance line. But I wanted to go ahead and tell you guys to make sure you stick around. We are going to have a special giveaway tonight towards the end of the show, which I'm very excited about. So you definitely don't want to leave. So hang around. We're gonna have a special giveaway, and once we get through these, we're going to talk a little bit more about sampling too. So without delaying anymore, let's go ahead and go into the next fragrance. Andre, what's next in front of you?
Can I add something really quickly, Dean?
Yes, you can.
Not to toot Andre's horn with this, but I will say that Andre will take literal years to create notes and accords and all this, and it really does show in this collection. And when he would be going through this line, he would say, smell this, and he would say, this T accord took me 2 years, and then would follow up with a bunch of obscenities. But
it's like you know him.
It's but and it really does show, and it's the meticulous work that is really put into these fragrances, and it truly shows.
Yeah, well said. No, I think I'm glad you said it because I know he hates every minute of us saying this stuff, but there's a reason why we're so supportive of what he's doing. So good work. I'm glad you added that. So, what do you want to go to next, there, Mister Perfumer Extraordinaire?
Oh, let's go to Fougère Gold, actually.
Oh, now you're talking.
All right. Fougère Gold became with curiosity. And I think this will resonate with a few of us on the panel and probably in the chat. I was reading Luca Turin's The Secret of Scent, and I became fascinated by the discussion surrounding Fougère Royale by Would Be Gone. What intrigued me was that I would probably never truly know what that original smelled like. And that fragrance exists now almost like a mythology. People discuss it endlessly. Perfumers revere it. Historians celebrate it everywhere. Yet the original experience itself remains inaccessible. And that fascinated me. How do you respond creatively to something you cannot directly know? And initially, I considered reconstructing it, but I realized that would be dishonest. I wasn't interested in recreating history. I was interested in continuing its spirit. So I asked myself if Fougère Royale represented innovation in 1882 when it was released, what would innovation look like today? So that question became Fougère Gold. That challenge wasn't historical, it wasn't philosophical. Respecting tradition without becoming trapped by it, I guess. Creating a Fougère that honors history by refusing nostalgia.
I love this one. This is my favorite. This is the one that really struck me. I do like Fougère scents. I think this one goes above and beyond what a traditional Fougère is, and I love the bergamot. I love the lavender. I love the I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of beautiful notes in here, but this one to me really wowed me. And this was the one that I really kept going back to, and it was one that I kept wanting to smell. Now, part of that is, and you know this in fragrance, like you go through journeys, right? And of different fragrances that you like, and I'm kind of in my Fougère phase right now, where I'm like I literally just got a bottle of Bois de Portugal. Like I'm kind of going through, those kind of fragrances, and kind of going through, just all kinds of Fougères, and through the years. And this is the one that I'm sitting there thinking, man, this really hits a spot for me. So this will probably be the bottle I pick up tonight. Will probably be this one. There may be some more, but this is one that I really do like. So anyway, that's my take on it.
And I broke tradition, and I'm sorry to interrupt, to cut you off. I broke traditional Fougère by adding a couple little surprises in there. I think you can pick them up. There's a little touch of Indol in there. I wanted to make it like a little sweaty Fougère, like you've been walking through, like Eli said in a video, like you've been walking through the woods, and you end up in a fern patch. And then instead of using a traditional just lavender, I use spiked lavender combined with geranium bourbon.
It is lovely. Anybody else agree? I'm just kind of curious. Toby, you smelled a lot of Fougères over the time. I know that you and I were kind of going through some talk on that. What did you think of this one?
I was at his house, I think, when I put my nose on this one initially. And, I've been on the Fougère kick, so this was like right up my alley. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
But yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, yeah, no, I mean, I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, it's just really enjoyable. And like I've been on that Fougère kick, so this was right up there for me.
I like that it challenges what I think of as a traditional Fougère too. I think that is so cool
Yes.
when you have things that will take the tradition of the Fougère, but then expand it a little bit, because I think that's what a lot of modern perfumery doesn't. I guess mass perfumery doesn't do well is taking chances like that and risking things like that. And I think it pays off when you come across something, you're like, wait a second, I took the best elements of this traditional type of fragrance profile, but then I changed it a little bit and I experimented with it and I came up with something new. And I think that's the newness that we all of wish we could find in fragrance today, and that's what we're finding in this line. At least that's how I would describe it. At least,
Yeah, and I agree with that 100% because like you mentioned earlier, right? We, if you go to the department stores, you're used to that, right? You get that 30 seconds that you're in love with, and this is just so much more, it's as it develops and the character that comes through and the notes and just how it evolves. Um, it's just much more enjoyable as someone that enjoys fragrance and a frag head.
Jessica is in the chat talking about the packaging on this one. I wanted to show it again too because you're right. The bottle on this one is beautiful. I love the label on it. I love the way it looks. Andre, you could probably actually show it in your hand there a little bit better than even what I mean on the website. Do you still have that one close by?
I know.
Yeah, I wanted to show that. It's just, oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful bottle, beautiful presentation. I love them. So good job on that.
Thank you.
Good job, good job. All right, what's our next one there, Andre?
All right, let's go to one of everybody's favorites, and this is gonna be A Distant Storm.
Oh yeah. Now this one, explain that this one's a part of the Ethereum collection. So just so that people know where to find it on the website here as I'm showing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is part of the Ethereum collection. Initially, before I decided to go on with Terra Mystica Aurum, I wanted to complete the Ethereum collection, which is literally gonna be a series of storms. But this one has been ready for quite a while, and I think it was her time to join because it's a spring to summer fragrance, and it just makes sense to include it in this lineup. Um, and it may be actually the fragrance that is closest to pure atmosphere from everything that I've done. It comes directly from summer spent on the Black Sea coast as a child and teenager. And there is a very specific moment before storms arrive over the sea, as we all know that I have lived by water. The air changes before the sky changes, so you smell it before you see it. Salt, ozone, metal, cold air moving through heat. And the world suddenly becomes sharper. And I wasn't interested in recreating the storm itself. I wanted the anticipation of the storm, the suspended breath before the first drop falls. That moment where beauty and danger coexist. I didn't want blue water either. I didn't want a traditional aquatic perfume. I didn't want a shower gel. I didn't want a marine freshness perfume. I wanted and distance and tension and the feeling of standing on a shoreline watching something immense approach from far away. And that's how the fragrance became less about weather and more about humility, about recognizing how small we are in the presence of certain moments.
Oh, it's beautiful. And the thing I love about this one, um, is how again we talked about how they change, but the thing that was challenging for me a little bit was the eucalyptus on the top note because it is pretty strong, but like it transitions quickly. Like it's still there and it's still underneath, but it's not. It doesn't lean forward forever. That cucumber comes in nicely, and it just I don't know, it takes you on a journey, but I do think this one's beautiful. I can see why so many people love this one, and this is gonna be hard not to get a bottle of this one too. Anybody? Uzman, would you wanna chat a little bit about this one?
Yeah. Yeah, just one thing I just wanted to add about this, and I too struggle with the eucalyptus note. I haven't smelled many with that note in there, but the funny thing about this fragrance is in the development of it, after you get past the eucalyptus, you get hit with that blue spruce as well, which kind of hits you kind of hard too. I mean, that's a very earthy element to the fragrance, but like again, it kind of comes and goes. You get the melon in there, you get the cucumber in there, and it kind of takes you on like a really cool journey. So it's kind of full of surprises for sure.
It definitely is, and I think that's again there's a theme that's coming along here, and you're right, Zach. It is fantastic. It's a really great one, and this one's probably one that I would say is more of a. I mean, I guess I almost feel like you're gonna smack me for saying this because I don't mean it the way it's gonna sound, but I was gonna say more of a freshy type scent, but not in a but not in a freshy like like the linear freshies that we're all kind of used to that just kind of go away and everything else. But this one is kind of a more fresh scent profile that does still take you on a journey.
Absolutely. It's kind of like a fresh like mountain spring is fresh.
Yes. Yes. Very well
Yeah.
said. Very well said. All right. So that's a Distant Storm. Let's see. I think we have two more left. Cardinal Frequency and Essenza.
Yeah. And cardinal frequency we spoke about previously. It was the one that started the collection, launched the collection rather in back in March. There we go. And this is my gift to my mother-in-law. The gardenia hater. I wanted to promote my gardenia, but she didn't hate. And I decided to do so by staining those petals with red wine. And what came out is a dark, ever evolving gardenia that doesn't take over the entire fragrance, but rather stays in the background, ever present, and lets the other elements around it shine more.
Yeah, it's a great one. I mean, Cardinal Frequency, Gardenia Noir, Extrait. I tell you, it's very fascinating to me too, because I think when you were talking about this, when you talked about making a gardenia that wasn't challenging, because she was always nervous about wearing gardenia. She loved the fragrance, but she was always worried about wearing it. And I love how you took that challenge and you're like, you know what, we're gonna make this happen. And so the wine accord was a great way to do that.
Yeah. 2 years later, it's out there.
A lot of work. Yeah, a lot of work behind the scenes. And then the last one we have is one of the collab fragrances. So it's not a part of this is a part of your collab fragrance. And this one's the Essenza di Primavera. I think it was a collab with the Scented Mike, and that one's sugared clementine fragrance, I believe, in the top note.
Yeah, it's Essenza di Primavera. It's Mike Scented Mike's concept. So he's the mind behind this fragrance. We worked, I believe, for about 9 months to this, to get it where he, as the concept director, wanted it. I sent them a couple of different versions, and we did like tweaks and changes to it, and the final result is a sugar clementine with some green mandarin, a lot of clean musks in the base, a little bit of cashmere for softness and warmth, and neroli and magnolia for floral bloom. I wish we were here to tell you more about it, because obviously it's his fragrance, but it's a beautiful, fresh, clean summer scent.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it's one, and again, this one might be a little bit less challenging, but again, that he was the perfumer or the mind behind it. You were kind of helping kind of come up with his vision. But I do think that it is a beautiful scent, and I do think that those who like those types of profiles that are a little less challenging will love this one. And so, I think that's something that people could also look at. And I like that you have that you've stretched, I think, in a way too, and to do something that probably you would never have done as a personal perfumer. But I love that about it, because I think that it challenged you to think about something in a different way. And I think that's okay. I think and people have different opinions on that. And I know I can see your face. It says a million words right now, but I love that you stretched yourself and that you tried something that was out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Yeah. Out of the big box. Yeah. I love it. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say is I love that you're taking challenges, you're doing some different things, and you're continuing even going most perfumers probably go more complex, sometimes you have to challenge yourself by doing things that are a little less complex, and I think that's okay.
And look, in all honesty, Mike is one of the I call him my four horsemen of the apocalypse. It's Mike is Mark that scent, Pedro Aroma Latino, and Dorian the Santa Lab that shop. And they were the first four people to actually take a chance on me and review my fragrances with no hand in the cookie jars. So I will always appreciate that.
That is awesome. Speaking of taking a chance, boy, you're taking a chance on this one. So you've all seen the fragrances now, and you're all like, hey, I want to smell this crap. Like, I want this stuff now. Like, I want to smell it. I want to have samples of this new line, and even some of the ones that you maybe haven't smelled in the earlier lines. Well, this is where we have a fun announcement tonight. So we have this guy that's showing hearts. I think we were talking about Canada earlier. I don't know. I think we were talking lovingly about Canada. I believe we were, Chaz. But we have Chaz, Muse Fragrance here. And Max, I'm going to maybe let you tee this up a little bit because I know you have worked a little bit with this and kind of getting this off the ground. Do you want to talk a little bit about the announcement? And then we'll talk to Chaz about what he's going to be offering up here tonight.
Yeah. So we are partnering with our friends over at Muse Fragrance to have the whole line and plus a couple of our other scents on the site from 1 mils to 10 mils. So we've got a really, really cool thing working. I won't spoil it all. Let my boy Chaz take it over. But we're super excited to work with Muse Fragrance. This is a super awesome site that I personally use and patronize probably a little bit too much for my bank account's sake. But it is truly a great site that we're honored to partner with, and we're super excited to work with them. So I'll let Chaz take over.
Sample saves you money, though. I'm just going to say, don't you think about all the full bottles you wouldn't have bought because of that. See, I'm sorry, Muse. Sorry, brother, you got to back up a little bit. Sorry, this stupid. Yeah, there you go. Now we're good. Chaz, what are you doing, brother? We're excited to have you here and tell us all the good news.
Thank you for having me. No, this has been so interesting. I've literally just been sitting here making orders for tomorrow, just listening to everyone talk through the line and everything. It's making me so much more excited. I'm currently wearing Tea in the Sahara. It's like one of my favorite. I know you guys, you might know me from Certified Fresh. Like 5 of the 8 are certified fresh. Like that never happens. It never is like that good. I'm actually like genuinely was freaking out messaging Max when they sent me the samples and was like, is this just for me? Like, did you guys like do extra stuff just for me? And they're like, no, like that's the line. And no, it's really cool. It's kind of our first true like brand level collab. And talking to Andrei and and he said it best, making decant sucks. And I totally agree. But I'm just a sucker for fragrance and I think it's going to be awesome. And to get to share that, Max and I have talked before Muse came around, and we have a whole tab up on the site now. It's not populated yet because we don't have them just yet, but should be about by Wednesday. They'll be there. They'll have their own spot on our homepage but in talking to Max, like I remember sampling fragrances from huge decanters and, really big websites and whatever. And they were very expensive and kind of like poor quality. And I have a bunch that leaked and a bunch that just went bad. And you could tell it was a business. And I say this on Muse all the time. I don't have to really make money on this. Like I do this because I'm passionate about fragrance and I want to share that. I already pay my bills. So this is just like a passion project for me. And to get to partner with such an amazing like brand is honestly, it's a dream come true for real. So I'm stoked. I'm really happy. We're going to have more than just the new line. I think we're going to have like 2 or 3 additional freshies. Just because I got to have them. They're so good.
I love it. I love it. And the thing I love about you, Chaz, too, is that the excitement and the energy. You're so authentic and genuine. And we talk about people in the fragrance content community that sometimes you don't really know what you're getting all the time. And I always know what I get with you. And I love that. And I think your brand, I think people get that too. And I love that about you. I think if I could have dreamed up a partnership for 2 people or 2 brands or 2 entities to come together to work together on this, I couldn't have imagined a better pairing. I mean, I really think that both of you guys, are going to help each other, and I think it's going to be great for both brands. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to learn more about Muse Fragrances too, and what you do. I mean, I was just on your catalog earlier today looking around, and you've even grown since the last time I've ordered from you. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, crap, I got to get back on here. Like, there's some other things I need to like. You've grown a lot here in the last little while. So kudos to you on all your success too.
True. Yeah. Thank you. I think, yeah, we have over 100 items. I think that the idea is to be the place that has like the breaking, the hot, first. And I, when it comes to this, like, I have been blessed to get to talk to Andrei like quite a few times, and we texted earlier today he's such like a genuine guy, and actually for being like from different places at different times, and like just completely our paths would never cross. We actually have so much in common that it like blew my mind. Like, he sent me something, and he sent me an email. I just immediately texted him, was like, no way, me too, like this, that, like it was so cool. And like, so I think, and I don't know how spiritual you are, but I think God places people in your life for a reason, and you don't know what that reason is until later, and like it's unfolding right now. I don't know.
That's well said. No, you definitely do. I love it. That's a part of all this, on FragTalk Live, we talk about that often. Like the thing that kind of brings us all together is fragrance. Like, we all love it and we all kind of come together in it, but we're much more than just fragrance, right? Like, we're whole people. We have stories. We have a lot that goes behind all of this, that we bring this baggage and everything else that comes into it. And what I love is that's exactly what comes into making fragrance. Like, fragrance isn't just like mixing chemicals together. It starts with an idea and a concept and a life and a story. And that's the thing I love about Aurum Obscura, is that there's depth behind those stories and about the meaning and the why the fragrance is being created. And I think that is really what excites me about this, because it's not just fragrance or fragrance sake, just to spray something to smell good. It's about invoking memories and bringing all of that together into a scent. And so I think that's really what this whole thing that we're doing together is about. So definitely couldn't agree more with you on that. So talk a little bit more about your website and where people, so you said there'll be the best way for them to get a sample will be what, how?
Yeah. So firstly, they'll just be straight up on our homepage. They'll give you pull up the website. Everything that we add that's new just populates right there on the homepage.
Just right here on the main homepage, right here on the new releases and trending.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Then basically right here at the top of the screen will also be their own like kind of featured section as well. So you can see like the new Tom Ford and the 2 Guerlains I added earlier today. So those will be there obviously when the Aurum fragrances go up, which will simply just be in a few days. Those will be there. So see, it's actually already there. I need to reformat the website a little bit. I need to work on the formatting.
No, it's all good. It could just be the way I'm sharing here too, but no, all good
that
stuff.
might be it. Yeah. I'm like, on my computer, it's all just one bar.
Yeah, it's probably the way that I'm sharing it on this device I'm using. But yeah, it kind of puts it together. But no, that's great. And kudos to you, Andrei, for thinking about how you can get samples in people's hands, because I think that's one thing that niche fragrance companies don't always do so well, is that and so I'm kind of curious. I'm going to pull you up to ask this question real quick, to answer this question a little bit. But why was it so important for you to partner with somebody like Chaz and Muse Fragrance for samples instead of just doing everything through your site? Because I think that's a twist. I think it's a good twist, but I want to hear you talk about it.
I mean, besides the fact that samples are the bane of my existence, it's I decided and actually we all decided that this is a fantastic idea, because right now, if you want to get your nose on my fragrances, you either go to my website and buy a bottle, or you have to travel and go to Monsanto and Roldan, and which, by the way, I want to give them a huge shout out. I know they're in the room here. I just got a text from him. You have to go to visit Roldan and Anastasia, who are the only people who physically carry my fragrances. And that is a relationship that is near and dear to my heart, and I encourage everybody who's in Ohio to just go visit Mont Centaur. It's worth your time. But however, that doesn't give you, the opportunity to get a sample or a decan, or to try the fragrance for a few days, see if you like it, if you want to decide to buy a full bottle or not. So Chaz came through with this, and I thank him greatly for what he does and what he does for the community and for all of us. And I looked at it as an immense opportunity for people to. We're a small brand, right? We're still under the radar, and that way people can get their nose on it. We can get a little more exposure, and uh, maybe people will get a little bit more ballsy and try our fragrances on longer.
Yeah, it makes complete sense, and I just can't thank you enough, Chaz, for being willing to take this on too. I think this is not gonna be the last time someone reaches out to you about this idea. I think you may have found an even cooler niche, maybe even a Muse Fragrance 2.0 on doing some samples for niche brands. So I don't know what the future looks like for you. Maybe you'll have you on FragTalk Live, and we'll just talk to you sometime about your plans and where your business is heading, and kind of just where you're thinking about taking things one day. But anyway, it's really, really cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I think the idea is to share fragrance with those to whom it might be inaccessible. You know what I mean? And that means, enough to me that I'm up at 10:30 at night, tinkering on someone's Parfums de Marly order because they want to get it tomorrow. I'm like, I know that this is such an experience, and there's so many, like, each one of these Aurum fragrances is like its own thing. Like, you have to like wear it for like a day or two. You can't just like go and smell like it. You got to experience it. And I think that that's so vital for almost every fragrance, like the wearing and the experiencing of it. And and I hope that this is the beginning of something amazing. I think it is already to me. So, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be along for the ride. So,
And Chaz, I want to add that I want everybody who listens to know that all the safety data sheets have been sent to Chaz, all the INCI lists and allergen declarations. So everything is up to code and safe on your skin, as long as IFRA and FDA are good stuff.
yeah. And so doing that will allow us to list it as a shoppable item on TikTok itself.
Fine.
Which means the next one of these lives we do, if we do another one for the next release, you can pin an Aurum product actually to, and I said I would help you guys also do that for the full bottles and stuff like that. But having that, because like obviously most companies won't just give that to you. So having that opens up a new door where your friends who are live, I know it's kind of like a hack to just put a product in it, even if you're not really talking about it, because it like keeps you from getting kind of banned or whatever. I've certainly done it many times. So if you got to throw a product up, rather than the like Latafa whatever that is like, happening that week, whatever new thing Beauty House has put out in the last 3 days, you could put, actually like real niche, like fragrance, like an experience. You can put that on there. So I love doing that. And it takes a while for TikTok to like allow you to do it. It takes kind of a lot of paperwork, but we're gonna get it done. So there will be Aurum on the shop.
No rush.
Yeah. They are in no rush to look at anything you send them. So
Just to say one more thing about Muse too, and what makes for me and Andrei and Tyler, what made Muse so special to all of us was the fact that it was so affordable, and that was the point. As a brand too, that's one of the things that we truly pride ourselves on is being affordable and excuse me, and being something that most people, a attainable niche brand and an attainable independent brand. And that's something that Chaz strives for at Muse, is making these pretty much as cheap as humanly possible so that most people can afford it. I'm a college student personally. I don't got money. My pockets aren't lined that well. So it's been a really nice thing to be able to work with somebody who does honor that same value that we have.
Well, do me a favor. Go ahead and put the sites in the chat. Put both of them so that people can see that. There's a sample right there.
Wow, it's got one of the 10 mils. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my order from today.
Show those off real quick. Show off. Oh yeah. So look at the quality there. I mean, right there.
He got some Banes, dude. The Banes in 10 is so good.
Yeah, but look at the quality of those bottles. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, you're not going to get just samples that are. We've all had those cheap samples from Dillard's that break and that, like, the atomizer doesn't work and everything else. Those have caps. Like, look how nice it is. And I'm imagining that probably looks pressurized. That bigger one, would it be?
It is. No?
Yeah. So I mean, that's quality right there too. So
no,
you're not just
dabber bottles. We don't do dabber bottles up in here. I hate dabber bottles.
That's what I think of my decant, because
to discuss that, Andre touched on it, and same with Muse is.
Go ahead, Toby.
Andre and Muse touched on, these meeting IFRA, which is a big thing that I don't think's talked about enough in the community, is having IFRA standards and meeting IFRA, because we are putting these on our body. They need to be safe. You can have reactions from it, and it meeting those standards is huge.
Oh, absolutely. And I had to do that because, that was the only condition that Roldan and Anna posed onto me when I first approached them and when we first started talking about, them possibly carrying my fragrance list. And they said, I will, but I am hesitant with other artisanal and indie houses because I don't get the ingredient list. I don't get. So when I showed up with their order, I showed up with my entire IFRA folder. I said, I can leave it with you because these are my whole formulas, but I can show it to you so you know they exist. And if ever we need to grab a sheet of paper out of there and, prove to somebody that it's legit, we know where to find it.
Well, this has been a lot of fun.
I'm sorry. And that goes for everybody who buys one of our fragrances. It's written on our website that IFRA certificates and origin declarations are available upon request. So they might have some portions that are blacked out because it's necessary to protect our intellectual property. But other than that, it's out for all.
Well, Roldan gave you some good advice there, and glad to have him and Monsantor in the room, and glad that they've been, I know, a big supporter all the way along the way. Well, I've got some good news right here. Speaking of samples, we have some samples here that I believe we are going to give away at some point. I'm not, you don't have to do it right now, but I'm just going to tell everybody there's going to be a giveaway. Oh, let me show the real thing here. Go ahead there, Andre. Look at that beautiful presentation. Woo! That is 10 mils of every one of the fragrances in the line. And I believe we're going to have a giveaway. And I am not 100% sure how you're going to do it, Andre, but yeah, I know that you are going to come up with a way to do that here tonight. And then maybe even some signed 30 mil bottles potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. So shall I go ahead?
It's up to you. I mean, I could be here all night, but I know that people, it is 11:30 on the East Coast. So I don't want to start losing people, but
yeah, and I gotta be in bed by 9:30. So
I was gonna say, Uncast, you go to bed.
So yeah, we are gonna give away this set of 10 mils plus 5 30 ml bottles of your choice, and the bottles are gonna be signed. So we're gonna give those away to the highest, the person who has the highest purchasing power on Aurum Obscura tonight. So the person with the highest purchasing power gets, so technically the guy that, or the girl that spent the most gets the full set, and then the next 5 get a signed bottle of their choice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the best way to support them tonight is by going to the site that's been in the chat. So definitely check that out and make sure you use the code. The code is Gold25. It'll give you 25% off. And then whoever does the most there, and then he'll have the kind of the order of how that works, and then he'll get with the winners. I'm assuming tomorrow you'll let them know, reach out to them and let them know that they won, and kind of go from there.
Absolutely. And yeah, the order that the orders are coming through is gonna be recorded on my website by time and a date, and then it's kind of easy to go from there.
That is awesome. That is awesome. For those of you that are just oh, go ahead.
The 25 code applies to the entire order. It's not just per product. So it's 25% off your whole order.
Oh, that's great. No, that's really good. That's a good point to know that. So definitely use that code Gold25, and that'll be available through the month. Make sure you use that on your products as you're getting those, and then later next week, or later this week or next week, check out Muse Frag on the internet, and you'll be able to find those samples as well, because Chaz has been so good to do that, and that'll be great. So if you're just joining us, you missed a hell of a live. Good news is we've been recording it, and so that we'll have it on YouTube so that you can watch it again if anybody has missed it. But this has been a fun night launching these fragrances. It's been so much fun having the panel here and having so many people. I am going to let everyone kind of and conclude with anything that they would like to say, and then we'll have Andrei last to kind of wrap us all up, since he has been the guy that's really done so much work here. But make sure, Lizzie, thank you so much for all your help being a moderator tonight and putting that in the chat. You are so wonderful, and I know it means a lot to Andrei. It means a lot to me too that you've been here, kind of making sure things are going smooth and putting those codes in there. You are just simply the best, and we really appreciate you, Elizabeth, for doing that tonight. And Spanky too. Spanky was around earlier. He may still be around, but he was also helping out. No, I appreciate that as well. He was helping out so much that he got WT in a box. That's how much he was helping. So WT.
I don't know if putting WT in a box is that helpful here.
No, it is not. I was a little bit worried. I was worried about your brand. I was like, oh, wait a second. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. WT's great. It's completely good. We'll have him on for the next round. But so I'll start. Usman, I'll start with you since you're in the box. Kind of talk anything you want to wrap up on, or anything you want to share. But thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Just wanted to say, really special collection, really special house. I got to spend a great amount of time with the fragrances and with Andrei and just everyone part of the team. If you have any questions or need to get talked into a fragrance, just DM me. I think I can talk you into a fragrance or two. These are incredible, and definitely sample them.
Yep. No, it's great advice there, Usman. Thank you so much for being here, brother. We really appreciate it. Max, since you're a part of the brand, I'm going to come to you, but just before Andrei. So I'm going to go to Mr. Tyler here, who he's also a part of the brand. But yeah, I'm going to go to Tyler first. Go ahead, Tyler. You're very eloquent.
It's okay. I get it. I understand why you're putting me at the end and right in the beginning. It's fine. No, it's all good. I think what has been an honor to be a part of with the brand, 100%. It's been a whirlwind through it, and it's been, as we talked about, right things being placed in the right time. Kind of just working through some of the people that I have here on here. Chaz has been one of my channel day one, and vice versa back. So it's really cool to get this real full circle moment of going through to be able to work with him. Same with Max. We're getting close to about a year ago that we started interacting with one another. And if I didn't make the connection that I did with Max, I wouldn't have made the connection to Andrei. I wouldn't have been able to develop education into perfumery. And for whatever reason, he convinced Andrei to like me enough and give me a chance enough. So for that, I'll be forever grateful to it all. And I think that anybody wanting to get into the artisanal and indie space, this is the best house to go through to do with it, based purely on a lot of the brand's values.
Well said, and I think it's about the community and about the family. It's about the individuals, and it goes back to that. And you can work with a lot of different people, but working with good people, people that you trust, people that you share things with, it makes it all the more enjoyable. So, well said there. Mr. Toby Sense, the man, the legend, who got all of
Yes,
this
sir.
started, because without Toby, I don't think many of us would have. Well, I know I wouldn't be here. So, Toby, what do you have to offer up here tonight?
Oh, I mean, I'm thankful, very thankful that I got to meet him. I'm thankful for Monsantor because when I first heard of Monsantor, the ironic story was it popped up in a news feed about a local niche fragrance shop its first year and it was struggling. And me being a frag head, I knew here I had nothing but designer stores. So of course I had to go check it out. I've done a lot of blind buying and buying samples offline. So, I stumbled in there one day and that's when I came across Andrei and Aurum Obscura and started sampling the products there. And like I said, one of the first ones I picked up was, you know, the Winter Storm, the Plum, and fell in love. And a couple times meeting Andrei in there, we just hit it off, talking, smelling fragrances, and it just evolved from there. And that, as you're a frag head too, like, again, I know I'm reiterating this, but we get so used to linear fragrances sometime, and be able to create something that's unique and of a different DNA and just a different realm to be able to experience. It's hard in this industry because I think a lot of things are just right. They're just kind of rewashed, redone, made a little bit differently. So to be able to stand out in the industry and do something totally different and have it enjoyable and take you on that journey it's huge.
Yeah,
It is.
well said, and big shout out again to Roldan and Monsantor. I'm so excited. I'm going to be coming to the store for my first time here, probably this month in June. I'm going to be coming up to visit, and I can't wait to see a bunch of you guys in person and get to meet you in person. But I live in Indiana.
Filippo Sorcinelli, hold on. Restock Filippo Sorcinelli. Dean is coming to town.
Dean is coming to town. He's got so, that is definitely right. So I got to make sure I don't tell my wife I'm coming. If I tell her I'm going to a niche perfume icon of a store in Ohio, she may leave me before I get a chance to to get there. So we'll see. But I'm very, very excited. I cannot wait to come to the store and meet you guys in person. So well said, Toby. Muse, Mr. Chaz, boy, you've really, I don't know, you've helped out a lot with all this. I'm excited about it. But what do you have to offer up here, brother?
I think the main thing I got from this live is that I need to move to Ohio. That was like the number one. I feel like Ohio is just like no, I mean it's always like, I don't know. Some of you guys know this, but I'm like an accountant in real life. I don't know. See, I'm from Missouri, so we just have professional sports. We don't have to like hold on to college teams. So I literally don't know what logo that is.
Hoosiers, baby. Hoosiers, Indiana.
But the way that I work is just not art. Like I'm a numbers guy. I'm a finance person. Like my day job is just all analytics all the time. And when you get to be a part of something that is like, it's like truly beautiful, like honestly, just the Goodnight Bucharest was like an experience for me. And then talking to Andrei about like everything that I'm like, wow, this one is so good. Like, tell me about it. And then it's something beautiful. It's just a blessing to be a part of that experience. And to be involved in sharing that with other people. So I'm super hyped for the line. I got to come up to Ohio. We got to do roller coasters and fragrance.
I love it. Chaz, you're one of a kind, brother. I could not have think of a better person to be collaborating with in this. And so I'm excited for you, and I'm excited that you're part of this group. And I'm just excited because I get to watch all you guys and just watch you guys continue to succeed and grow and just get to tell those stories. And that's fun for me. So I love it. I love supporting good people, and you guys are some good people. So loving that. Maximus, I think is what Andrei calls you.
Maximov.
Well, see, I screwed it up. Well, I'm used to pronouncing things wrong when I'm around Andrei, so it's par for the course.
I just do it at this point on purpose just to get the reaction out of him. But first off, before I start, Dean, don't make me sing Hang On Sloopy for you. I am moving on to the OSU campus here soon. So I will do it. I'm not afraid to.
Let's go.
But with that out of the way, I just want to say some thank yous here because I think it's very important. Thank you to Dean. Thank you to the Lizard, Lizzie. We thank you both for setting up this incredible live and really giving us a chance to talk about what makes these fragrances so incredible. I'm gonna have to thank Andrei because
he's your boss.
Truly, yes, he's my boss, but he's also a fantastic person I've gotten to know and truly a great human being who has set me up. And I already have friends in Columbus when I move, which is a pretty special thing. So very, very happy about that. But this line I'm so excited with. It truly is just everything that our brand stands for. And it's been so awesome to work with all these different creators and hear them all say these are incredible. And one said Andrei's a madman. And I do agree with that. But it's been incredible to work with this whole lineup. And I really hope that everybody in this chat does get to experience this. And whether that be sampling through Muse or whether that be buying a full bottle, I hope you all get to experience this because it truly is joy in a bottle to me. And it brings back for me, I always think, like I said, a distant storm and growing up on Lake Erie and seeing that storm out over the water. And it really does just make me feel things that fragrance really never has. And I will always love this brand. And it's not just because I receive a paycheck, but I do always just love this brand. And more importantly, I love the people with it. And yeah, I'll end it with that.
Yeah, it's fragrance enthusiasts first, right? Like that's the thing that we all are. Like, we all have different, but at the end of the day, we all got into this for the same reason. We like the journey, and we like to smell good, and we like smelly water. What can we say? Part of it.
And I will say thank you to Dean also because he is the one who introduced me to Andrei in a FragTalk Live weekend edition. And that same day, Andrei was just like, just come over. So, and that's how me and Andrei met.
You just never know in this community. I love it. I freaking love it. And that's what I love. I mean, I love these stories. I love how this all works out. But so the man,
a serial killer.
Well, that's a good thing he wasn't. Yeah. Cause then I would have really felt bad for introducing you. I mean, I would have felt really bad, but nice to know you, Max. But you keep talking about Ohio State and I might introduce you to a few serial killers. I don't know, but
hey, we only have one serial killer that went to Ohio State. Thank you very much. Only Jeffrey Dahmer went there.
Only that guy. Oh God, I don't know how you follow that up, Andrei.
That's like the main one, bro. Like that's like their number one guy.
They're number one at a lot of things, including serial killers. I mean, it's just there you go. Just they don't know how to stop their greatness. So I don't know how to transition this, but I'm going to somehow do this wonderful bus crash of a transition into Andrei. And Andrei, man, thank you so much. I'm putting you in the big box. This is all because of you. This is all because of you having this awesome idea and this collection and bringing this crew together of people that support what you're trying to build. So I'm going to turn it over to you for the final words of tonight. Again, for those of you joining, I'm just going to recap quickly. Terra Mystica, the line is out. Make sure that you go on the website that is in the chat. You can find it there. There's also codes that are there that you can get 25% off Gold 25. You will be able to get samples from Muse Fragrance here in a little while. Make sure that you go out. There's going to be a giveaway. Make sure that you buy some fragrance tonight so that you can be in the running for that giveaway. And yeah, I think that those are most of everything kind of as quickly as I can summarize it. But off to you there, Mr. Andrei.
Yeah, it's not thanks to me. It's thanks to everybody that is in these rooms every day and every time we meet. And I thank you greatly, all of you, for being here tonight and for being here when I need to call somebody and lay down some crazy on you. Um, no, none of these fragrances began as perfumes. They began as questions, and those questions, every fragrance in Terra Mystica is ultimately an attempt to answer one of those questions that cannot be put into words alone. And I think I like to leave people with gratitude here tonight. First, gratitude for everyone who has followed Aurum and Obscura from the very beginning, who supported us. What started as curiosity, experimentation, and obsession with scent somehow grew into a community of people who understand that perfume can be more than fragrance. It can be memory and emotion and storytelling and really art, after all. And also gratitude for the places and people that unknowingly became part of this collection long before it existed. My grandmother, my aunt Cecilia, who probably never imagined that the violets I picked for her as a 5-year-old would one day become Vidus purpurea. And of course the streets of Bucharest, which gave me far more than I understood while I was living there. The books, the films, the conversations that I had with countless conversations that I had with people, and also those moments of silence that shaped the way I experienced the world. And perhaps most importantly, gratitude for the memory itself, because if there is a single thread connecting every fragrance in Terra Mystica, it is a realization that we never truly leave the places that formed us. We do carry them forward, they change shape, and they become quieter, they become, stories, and sometimes they become perfume. So, Terra Mystica, it is my attempt to honor those places, to preserve them, to walk through them one more time. And if somewhere along the way, one of these practices helps one of you reconnect with a forgotten memory, a lost feeling, or a place you can still carry in your heart, then it has accomplished everything I've ever hoped it would. Because at the end of the day, perfume disappears. What remains is what made us remember. And thank you all for joining us tonight, for spending this time with us, and for allowing Aurum Obscura to become part of your own stories. And I hope you continue searching for wonder in the world, in memory, and perhaps most importantly within yourselves.
Oh my gosh, that was poetic. I expected nothing less from you, but that was poetic. Yeah, that's definitely claps from all of us for that. That was so well said. Thank you, Elizabeth, for putting that in there. That's the site. That's the code. 25% off. Make sure you go there tonight. For those of you who maybe have been here for the first time, this is kind of a special edition of Frag Talk Live. We do Frag Talk Live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m., every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. The Wednesday show, I'm interviewing content creators, perfumers, anybody that's in the industry. We kind of go into a deep dive. All of those episodes are on YouTube. You can find them all by searching Dean of Sense. They're really great to go back and watch some of those interviews. A lot in the same style. The weekend is all about the community. So 10 o'clock a.m. Saturday, it's all about all of us coming up. It doesn't matter where we're from. It's really just having that passion and that love for fragrance, coming up and sharing what we bought this week, what news is out there. Sometimes we don't even talk about fragrance, talk about what's going on in life. So sometimes we even get banned. That was a new experience this weekend. That was fun. So you just you just never know what's going to happen with Frag Talk Live. But that's a lot of fun. All of you are welcome to be a guest on a future Wednesday episode. You guys have been wonderful, and I love this community that we've built and continue to do it. I do things a little bit different, but I like this style, and I like to get to know the people on a deeper level, and I think that's something that's been really cool about all of this. Tomorrow, I also have a special interview. Sean is nosy. For those of you that know Sean, he is from New Orleans. I'm going to be on with him at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be talking fragrance. So if you get a chance, follow Sean is nosy, and you can find me there tomorrow tomorrow night for an interview. And then Wednesday night at 10 p.m., I'll be interviewing Nelson, GOM, for those of you that know Nelson. He is a fragrance content creator, great guy. And we're going to hear more about his story and a little bit more about his life. He's got a very interesting, fascinating story. So that's who we're going to interview this Wednesday night. So that's just a little bit of housekeeping on some things I've got going on here. I've got a Discord channel that I've launched. So if you guys, anyone that's wanting to be a part of that Discord channel, let me know. Shoot me a note, to shoot me a DM. I'll get you a link so that you can join us for that. It's been really great. There's a lot of this on there. And then I'm also going to be starting some news and some different things as well. So all those things are a part of it. So that's a lot. The Discord is a lot of fun. It's growing and just a way for us to stay in touch no matter where we are throughout the day. So I think as I thought about this, about how to end this live, I think I'm going to end it where we started it, and I think I'm going to end it by putting up the video that we started with. I think that's a great way to end it, is to play that video game because it was so well done. So I will say goodnight to everybody. We'll play this video and then we'll end the live after that. Guys,
Good
thank
night,
you so
everyone.
much for being here. I really appreciate you all, and enjoy this new collection.
And I think of scent the way I think of music or poetry, not as a decoration, but as a language that doesn't explain itself with words, but with but speaks directly to the subconscious.
Every fragrance begins as a whisper, a fleeting emotion, a memory too beautiful to hold, a shadow longing to be given form. What began as an experiment in feeling became something far greater. Aurum Obscura was never created to follow trends. It was created to translate the invisible: desire, grief, nostalgia, obsession, light and darkness, bound together in scent. From the first echoes of creation to the fragrances that found their way into the hearts of collectors around the country, each bottle became a fragment of a story, a quiet companion, a reflection of the soul wearing it. Black Velvet, Nebula Moderata, Moroccan Nights, Melancholia, Mountain Spring, Desert Rose, a winter storm, iced plum and snow. And through every release, every late night, blending accords in silence, every risk taken in pursuit of beauty, you were there. The collectors, the artists, the believers, and the voices who helped carry Aurum Obscura into the world. Reviewers who spoke honestly, passionately, beautifully, not because they were asked to, but because they understood. To every creator who shared our work with their audience, thank you. And now, a new chapter emerges, Terra Mystica Aurum, a new line forged from everything Aurum Obscura has become. More intimate, more daring, more transcendent. A collection born from earth and ether, memory and myth, flesh and divinity. This is not simply perfume. This is atmosphere.
Aurum Obscura is my way of saying fragrance should reflect the full spectrum of experience. And it should glow, but it should also whisper. And it should seduce, but also make you unsettled. Just enough to make you feel alive.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.
Night.